Steve and Brian are out here. We're having a great time. We've emptied the tanks, we've lightened our load up a little bit. We have got a 1,900-foot gravel runway to take off and make the turn before we hit that wall over there. It's pretty easy, actually.
I'm Jason Miller, a full-time professional flight instructor. On the Finer Points channel, you can join me as I bring you tips and tricks that I've learned from 20 years on the flight line. So a Finer Points adventure trip is like airplane camp for adults. We take pilots out into the environment where we're going to be flying. We teach them how to fly there safely, but we also do a whole lot of contingency planning. We have survival experts. We get everybody we can out into the field so that we can do clinics and exercises and workshops. We learn signal mirrors, all sorts of fun stuff. And we have an awesome time. Right now we only do about 3 of these trips. It's really a passion project for myself. It's something that I've had in my mind for years, and this Canyons of the Southwest trip, probably 15 years this has been in my mind as something I really, really wanted to pull off. So it's just amazing to be here, and we brought 25 pilots up here to Monument Valley, Utah, where we executed our first run at the Canyons of the Southwest, and it's just been an awesome time. In this video, I'm going to show you a little bit about what we've learned and what we're teaching on this course. We're not flying Carbon Cubs. This is about using normal category airplanes, or the airplane you normally fly, to see this part of the world. So we are taking it seriously. We have 3,800 feet of runway this morning and a 5,200 foot density altitude.
A little takeoff briefing, 5,200, so above, 6,200's 1,000 above. We've got a slight, it's like a quartering tailwind, but most of it's crosswind component.
Okay, got it.
The halfway point on the runway, I would say that if we don't have, you see a little dirt, looks like almost like a dirt strip to the left of the runway?
Yeah, a little road.
Yeah, if we don't have our board speed by the time we get to the end of that dirt, I would say we got a problem.
Okay.
That's 50 knots.
Okay.
If there's an engine problem, you know where the fuel pump is, right?
Right here.
Yeah, that's probably an immediate action item. Just see if we can get fuel going toward it.
First.
Yep. If we have a total engine failure, I'll take the airplane.
All right, it'll be your airplane. I'll turn on the pump.
Okay, sounds good. And master and mags as needed, and slide your seat back.
Okay.
Okay, good. Even if we were max gross weight, which we are not, outside air temperature is 9. We're at even a 6,000. We can expect 2,690 over a 50-foot obstacle with conservative equations built in, like 6,000 feet and 3,100 pounds.
Okay.
We can expect over a 50-foot obstacle that we would only take up 2,690. We have 3,800 feet of runway, so
okay,
we're good.
Gotcha.
And power is set. Gauge is checked. Airspeed's coming alive nicely. There's your abort speed. We're good to go.
And just like that, we were off on the big flying day of our 3-day adventure. This is the day where we go out on and try to test out everything we've learned. In this case, we're headed up to Canyonlands and really just looking to fly as low as we can.
And Malcolm, even though you're in the back, it's a, what do you call a positive crew resource environment. If we're doing anything that you don't like or makes you feel uncomfortable, let us know, okay?
Absolutely.
Okay.
One of the really cool things about flying out here is how low you can go. You're sometimes asked to maintain 2,000 feet above the ground, but near Monument Valley and for vast areas in this region, there's no such request. Very few power lines and a lot of landing sites.
I will have to say I'm struggling that we're only doing this for 1 day.
Oh, I know. But I think I learned my lesson. This is not a 3-day trip, right?
That's Star Spring traffic, Yellow Cub is bound 5 miles south for Star Spring.
Oh, that is just too cool.
Fun. Oh, that's stunning.
It's beautiful up here. Winds are what? So we're on the downwind side, but it's only like 5 knots of wind.
Yeah, it's not too bumpy or anything.
No,
Yeah.
it's nice. It's beautiful.
Bluff traffic, Cherokee 8859 November. We're approximately 5 miles to the southwest of the field. We're going to be transitioning from south to north. We're at 6,300 bluff traffic.
Another thing that's really important is always having an out. You'll see us flying in canyons, but we're sure that there are no power lines. We're sure we're not in a national park, and we're sure that we can execute a safe turn or a safe landing if we have to.
So with Jason at the controls and Malcolm and I enjoying the scenery, we really just had fun flying low. I'm not used to flying in an area with this much space, so many landing sites, a lot of terrain, and very few restrictions, that there's plenty of space outside the national parks to fly around. Once we got to Canyonlands, we learned our next valuable lesson.
If you can find a local pilot who really knows the area, I don't care how much experience you have, get that briefing. It's going to be invaluable. Yesterday, when we were up near Moab at Canyonlands Airport, we ran into Jackson from Redtail Aviation, and he gave us an awesome local briefing.
Hi everybody, my name's Jackson. We love it out here in Canyonlands. It's really a pilot's paradise out here. We've got a ton of great airstrips that are kind of leftovers from a lot of old mining claims, some other river running stuff as well. So Redtail Air, we do a ton of rafter pickups and drop-offs. I was just talking to Jason. It looks like he's going to head down to Height, which is an airstrip that we go into and out of, oh god, sometimes 4 or 5 times a day during the summer. So this is Height down here. Height's a really beautiful strip. It's right along the very northern edge of Lake Powell, actually. So it's right where the Colorado River and then the Dirty Devil River meet up. It's kind of right on the edge of a cliff, not a cliff, but a butte, and it's uphill at probably right around 10 degrees of a gradient. It hooks to the right a little bit. It's about as wide as a Kodiak's tire, so that's a little wider than that. It's a nice strip to really test yourself. We do a lot of training for our new pilots to go in and out of there. It's at the bottom of a canyon, so when we're climbing out of there, a lot of times we're following the Lake Powell to gain some altitude when we're pretty heavy. So when we approach from the north pretty much along the Dirty Devil River. We come down through Happy Canyon, and there's just a little butte that's going to obscure the runway from you when you're coming from the north. But if you have it on your GPS and you're following it and you're following the river down, when you start to get down about 5 miles away, you want to be about 1,000 feet AGL. When you see a big bridge going over the river, the Dirty Devil River that is, you want to be at about 500 feet at that point. So you're going to come around a butte, and then it's going to kind of pop up for you there, and it's right there. But obviously we love flying out here. We just want everybody to be safe and have a good time. So.
No matter how experienced you are, a really solid local briefing is always valuable. Flying is too big to know it all, and the people who fly here know this area better than anybody. So it's always a wise idea to get a local briefing. And if you're headed to an area where you're not sure about, maybe call a local flight school and ask if there's a CFI there or somebody that can give you a local briefing. It's not official information, so take it with a grain of salt, but it's information and often can be very valuable.
A huge thanks to Jackson. And you can see as we departed Canyonlands after lunch, we flew right through this restricted area, which we found out from multiple sources has been cold for many, many, many years. I might have gone around that without the local briefing, so there you go. Then we flew out toward Hanksville VOR so that we could pick up the Dirty Devil River, as Jackson recommended, outside the national parks to do some more low flying and a low pass assessment of the Height airport.
Well, here's the bridge. You said you should be at 500 feet if you're going to land. The road bridge here.
Kind of showing right off our...
Oh, here's the roadway right here, guys.
Oh, wow, you're right.
There it is. That is gorgeous pavement.
Can you get a shot of it?
Yeah, I got mine. I'll grab it.
Okay.
I could bring it around your side, too.
So we found Height and we maneuvered down for a low pass. We chose not to land there, but rather to continue canyon flying. However, I want to take a moment and talk about how important the low pass assessment is, not just for backcountry pilots, but I think there are a lot of takeaways here for landing at any strip you're not familiar with. Look at this little bit of footage that I got from one of the more advanced aircraft on our trip. Now this pilot flying, this is the CFI flying, is very comfortable with the airplane and very comfortable maneuvering close to terrain. But you'll see here at Mexican Mountain, he has to maneuver tight against the mountain and at a pretty low altitude to come around and get a good look at the strip.
And here you're looking for clues like other airplanes on the ground, the surface conditions, picking a halfway point or a point of no return, and investigating the emergency landing options at the other side.
We're having a great time. We've emptied the tanks, we've lightened our load up a little bit. We have got a 1,900 foot gravel runway to take off and make the turn before we hit that wall over there.
I'm going to kind of enter right here. Is that all right?
Beautiful, yep.
About 50, I'm going to drop just a little bit more.
That's about right. Yeah.
I'm just going to kind of leave this power setting.
Perfect. Yeah, this altitude is good, so we got room to climb out if we need it.
And finder points aircraft, Cirrus 8 Foxtrot Sierra, about 30 miles out of Monument Valley on the descent to the airport.
All right, guys. Yeah, we're just playing around right now. We're in the vicinity of the airport, probably 10 miles to the northwest, pretty much down on the deck at, I don't know, 200-300 feet AGL. Just started playing around. We're going to head in soon.
You think we could drop down into this canyon?
I'm going with no on that one.
Is it wider than the wingtips?
Well, I could put the cabin down. It's so high.
Yeah, get the fuselage in there.
A line has to be drawn. Alright, aviators, that's all for this video. Huge thanks to the sponsors and to the patrons. Without that support, these videos just wouldn't be possible. And if you're interested in coming on one of our adventure trips, please come visit us at learnthefinerpoints.com. Make sure you follow me on Instagram at learnthefinerpoints, or come by and say hello on Facebook. And if you're interested in how you can get bonus content and support the Finer Points, please visit patreon.com/learntfp. And as always, a big thanks to you, the best fans on the internet, for watching this video. I'm Jason Miller, and until next time, be safe, fly your best. I told him I wanted a campfire. Like most of our events, our clients like to fly and then hang out and drink by a campfire.
That's what it looks like when you have instructors hard at work.
Yep. Yep. This chair almost blew away. I am holding it down with everything I've got, and these two lovely ladies are doing the exact same.
Perfect.
And yet they are doing it with so much more style than I am. I mean, look at Mary. She's even got the wine and everything. Hey, why don't you? She's smiling. You can't see that, but she's giggling and grinning over here.